What's up everyone? How are you all? Today we are back with another blazing Naruto story. What if Naruto was born with the Rinnegan and Kushina neglect him? If you enjoy this what if, then play like, share and do comment, and also check out our Patreon for unscored Naruto story. So let us start this story.
Chapter 1. The wind whispered through the tall trees of the Namikaze estate, carrying laughter that never reached him. High above the ground, hidden among dense leaves, a 13-year-old boy watched in silence, Naruto. His fingers dug into the bark beneath him, nails pressing hard enough to sting, but he didn't flinch. Pain like that was nothing, not anymore. Below, sunlight spilled across the yard where the fourth Hokage stood proudly, his golden cloak swaying gently. Across from him, a small girl with bright red hair beamed with excitement. I did it. Her voice rang out, full of life, full of belonging. Minato's expression softened in a way Naruto had never seen directed at him. You focused well, that's how it begins. Oh. Naruto laughed, her tiny hands still trembling from the faint chakra she had just awakened. Naruto's jaw tightened. So this is what it looks like, he thought bitterly. This is what a father is supposed to be. The door slid open and Kushina stepped outside, her long crimson hair catching the light like fire. Her eyes warmed instantly at the sight of her family. A perfect scene, a perfect lie. Naruto looked away, because if he didn't, he might break. 4 years old, that was the age everything ended. Naruto could still feel the cold that day, not from the air, but from the voice that cut through him. You shouldn't be here. Minato's back had been turned. No anger, no hesitation, just rejection. Naruto had waited just 1 second, hoping the man would turn around. He never did. The door had closed, and with it, so had Naruto's place in that house. The memory twisted like a blade inside him. Back in the present, Naruto's eyes dulled. They don't even remember, he muttered under his breath, or maybe they chose not to. He shifted slightly on the branch, watching Naruto cling to Minato's arm, laughing without fear. That kind of happiness, it wasn't meant for him, never was. The forest had welcomed him when no one else did, not with kindness, but with something far more honest, silence. That day small feet had carried him far beyond the village walls, past where children should ever go. The forest of death didn't scare him. Nothing did, because fear needed something to lose, and Naruto had nothing. By the time his legs gave out, the world had blurred into tears and exhaustion. He collapsed at the base of a massive tree, his tiny frame shaking. I didn't do anything wrong. The words broke apart as they left his lips. I did. The forest listened, and something within it answered. At first it was subtle, a shift in the air. Then stillness. Predators that should have torn him apart instead circled him slowly, cautiously, as if drawn by something they couldn't understand. Golden eyes, slitted pupils, massive shadows, but none attacked. Naruto didn't notice, because something else had already found him. You're wasting your tears. The voice didn't echo in the forest, it echoed inside him. Naruto's breath hitched, his small body froze. Who? No answer. Instead, the world twisted, darkness swallowed everything. When Naruto opened his eyes again, the forest was gone. The sky above him stretched endlessly, painted in soft greens and deep golds. A vast, unnatural space surrounded him, calm yet suffocating in its silence. Behind him stood a traditional house, old, imposing, untouched by time, and in front of it sat a man, long crimson robes, sharp eyes, and behind him 9 massive tails swaying slowly like living flames. Naruto didn't run, didn't scream, didn't cry, he just stared. You're the fox. The man's brow lifted slightly, not fear, recognition. Interesting, you're calmer than I expected. Naruto tilted his head, wiping the last traces of tears from his face. You're inside me, right? A pause, then. A low chuckle. Not just inside you. The man stood, and the moment he did, the entire space seemed to bend slightly around him. I am what they sealed into you. Each step he took felt heavier than it should. I am what they fear. Closer, I am what they hate. Now he stood directly before Naruto, and for the first time. Naruto felt it, not fear, weight, presence, something ancient, something alive. Kurama. The name slipped out without thinking. The man's eyes narrowed, then slowly a smirk formed. So you do know. Naruto looked up at him, not with admiration, not with terror, but with something far more dangerous, understanding. They hate you too, Naruto said quietly. Silence fell heavy, thick then. Kurama laughed, not mockingly, not cruelly, but knowingly. You're different. Oh. Naruto didn't respond because he already knew. Kurama studied him carefully, a broken child, abandoned, rejected, yet not shattered. No, something else was forming inside him, something sharp, something cold. Tell me, Naruto, Kurama said, crouching slightly to meet his gaze. What do you want? Naruto didn't hesitate, not even for a second. I don't want to be weak. The answer was immediate, absolute. Kurama's smile widened. Good. The air shifted, the peaceful world cracked just slightly, because what I offer will destroy what's left of you. Naruto didn't blink. I don't care. And that was the moment Kurama knew. This wasn't just a child, this was something else, something that could become monstrous. Then listen carefully, Kurama said, his voice lowering. If you accept me. The ground beneath them began to fracture. You won't come back the same. Dark energy bled into the space. The sky dimmed. The house behind them twisted slightly, as if rejecting what was about to happen. Naruto stepped forward. No hesitation, no doubt. Good. Kurama extended his hand. And your first lesson. The world shattered begins with pain. Back in the present. Naruto's eyes snapped open. A faint red flicker passed through his pupils. Below, Naruto laughed again, but this time Naruto didn't feel anything. No anger, no sadness, no longing, only emptiness. Too late, he whispered, because deep inside something had already begun to change, and it wasn't stopping. Naruto didn't feel the moment Kurama's presence shifted. He became aware of it. Deep inside the sealed darkness, those ancient eyes had opened, not with rage, not with hatred, but with intent. The world inside Naruto's mind was no longer calm. The endless green field had begun to distort, colors bleeding into one another like a dream unraveling. The sky dimmed into a suffocating shade of crimson, and at the center of it, Naruto stood still, unmoving, watching. Kurama stood before him, silent for a long moment, studying the boy as if he were something fragile or something dangerous. Then suddenly, Naruto moved. He stepped forward and wrapped his arms tightly around Kurama. Not hesitation, not fear, just instinct. Kurama froze. For a being forged in war, soaked in centuries of hatred and betrayal, this was unfamiliar territory. No one had ever touched him like that, not as a weapon, not as a prison, but as something else. Naruto held on tighter, as if letting go meant falling into something worse. Kurama's expression shifted subtly, almost imperceptibly. Memories that weren't his own flickered through his mind, echoes of warmth, of bonds he had long buried beneath rage. Slowly, awkwardly, he placed a hand on Naruto's back, not forceful, not dominant, just there. The embrace lingered, too long, too real. Then Naruto pulled away first. Both of them avoided eye contact. The silence that followed was heavier than any battle. Kurama cleared his throat, his usual composure snapping back into place like armor. We don't have time to dwell on weakness. Naruto nodded, though his expression had changed. There was no softness left in his eyes now, only focus. Tell me what to do. Kurama's lips curled slightly, direct. Good. Then listen carefully, he said, stepping back as the ground beneath them cracked further. I will not make you stronger the way humans do. The space trembled. I will rebuild you. Naruto didn't react, didn't question. He simply stood there, waiting. Kurama raised a hand. The air thickened instantly. You will be given power beyond your bloodline, beyond your clan, beyond your world. Naruto's eyes sharpened. Power that does not belong to you. A pulse of energy rippled outward, and power that will try to consume you. For the first time, Naruto spoke. Good. Kurama's smile widened. Your first gift. The ground split open beneath Naruto's feet, but he didn't fall. He stood there as reality itself seemed to peel away, his sight. Darkness surged then. Light blinding, burning, Naruto screamed, not from fear. From sensation. It felt like his eyes were being torn apart from the inside, something ancient forcing its way into existence where it did not belong. His vision shattered into fragments, colors twisting, warping, reforming, symbols, shapes, endless circles layered upon circles. Pain flooded every nerve. Kurama watched silently. No interference, no mercy, because this was necessary. This power was never meant for mortals, Kurama said coldly. So endure it or be erased by it. Naruto's screams echoed through the broken world, but he didn't collapse. Didn't beg, didn't break. Instead, he forced his eyes open, through the pain, through the burning, through the impossible weight pressing against his mind. He looked straight at Kurama and smiled, a small, twisted, unnatural smile. Kurama's expression shifted. So you really are different. The transformation completed in a violent surge. Naruto dropped to one knee, breathing heavily. His eyes slowly lifted, no longer blue, a ripple pattern spread across them. Deep, endless, watching everything. The world around him suddenly became clearer, sharper, truthful. He could see the cracks in reality itself. Kurama exhaled slowly. The Rinnegan. Naruto blinked once, then twice. The pain didn't disappear. It settled like something that had always been there. I can see, Naruto whispered, but Kurama wasn't finished. Stand up. Naruto obeyed instantly. No hesitation, no complaint. Kurama's gaze darkened. The second gift. The sky above them collapsed into swirling chaos. This one. His voice lowered, will decide whether you survive at all. Naruto's body tensed slightly, for the first time. A flicker of anticipation. Your body is weak, Kurama continued bluntly. Fragile, human. The word sounded almost insulting. I will change that. The ground beneath Naruto began to glow. Symbols carved themselves into existence around him. Ancient, unnatural, alive, this process. Kurama paused, will feel like your entire existence is being destroyed. Naruto closed his eyes, took a slow breath, then opened them again, no fear. Do it. Kurama stared at him for a moment. Silence then. A grin wide, ferocious, good. The world exploded, red chakra surged violently, wrapping around Naruto like chains made of fire. And then it began. Naruto screamed, not a child's scream, not a cry for help, but something raw, something primal. His skin cracked. Not visibly but internally, as if his entire structure was being torn apart molecule by molecule. Bones twisted, muscles tore and reformed, his very cells screamed, and still. He endured. Kurama's eyes narrowed, not in cruelty, but in recognition. This wasn't survival anymore, this was transformation. Far away, inside the Hawkage Tower, Minato Namikaze sat frozen. The room felt suffocating, heavy. His eyes hadn't left the door since that moment. Since those words, since the look on Naruto's face. No, he clenched his fists. Don't think about it, don't remember it, but it wouldn't stop, it wouldn't leave. Hey. The voice cut through his spiraling thoughts. Minato turned sharply, perched casually by the window. Jiraiya, but there was nothing casual about his eyes. You look like hell, the Sannin said bluntly. Minato forced a weak smile, just work. Jiraiya didn't move, didn't blink. Don't lie to me. Silence then. I saw something, Jiraiya continued, his tone shifting. The toads showed me a vision. Minato stiffened. The future is unstable, Jiraiya said. There's a child standing at the center of it. Each word grew heavier. That child carries immense power. Minato's breath slowed. And depending on the path he takes. Jiraiya's gaze sharpened. He either saves everything. A pause or destroys it. The room fell silent. Minato's hands began to tremble, because deep down. He already knew. Who is it? He asked quietly. Jiraiya stepped forward. You already know. Those words shattered whatever composure Minato had left. His expression broke. His voice cracked. I made a mistake. Jiraiya frowned. What did you do? Minato didn't answer, not immediately. Instead, he stood up and slammed his fist into the desk. Once, twice, again. Wood cracked. Blood followed. I pushed him away. Minato finally shouted. He came to me and I. His voice faltered. I called him a monster. Silence, pure dead silence. Jiraiya didn't move, didn't react. For 1 second. Then, the air around him exploded with killing intent. You what? The building itself trembled. Minato flinched. I didn't mean. Don't. Jiraiya's voice dropped dangerously low. You don't get to explain that. Minato's head lowered. I think, he whispered, barely audible. I already lost him. That was enough. Jiraiya vanished, gone, no hesitation, no delay, because somewhere out there, a child stood at the edge of becoming something the world could never stop. Back in the darkness, Naruto's screams had stopped, not because the pain ended, but because something else had replaced it. Stillness. His body stood upright, completely motionless. Red chakra slowly faded. Kurama watched carefully. Naruto. No response. A crack formed beneath Naruto's feet, then another, then. Naruto's head tilted slightly, slow, unnatural, his eyes opened. The Rinnegan glowed faintly, but something else. Something deeper. Moved behind them, his lips parted, and when he spoke, the voice that came out was not entirely his, this power. A pause, a distorted echo layered beneath his tone, is not enough. Kurama's expression changed instantly, not anger, not pride, but alarm, because for the first time in centuries, the Ninetales felt it, something inside his host. That didn't belong to him the moment it stirred. Everything went wrong. Inside Naruto's inner world, the fractured landscape no longer obeyed Kurama's will. The crimson sky darkened further, not into night, but into something deeper, something that swallowed light itself. Kurama didn't move, didn't speak, for the first time in centuries. He waited because whatever had awakened was not his power. Naruto stood at the center of it all, still, silent. His Rinnegan glowed faintly, but behind that ripple pattern, something else pulsed, alive, watching. Naruto. Kurama's voice cut through the distortion. No response, not even a twitch. Then Naruto's fingers moved, slow, unnatural, his head tilted slightly as if listening to something far away. And then he inhaled sharply. Reality snapped. Deep within the forest of death, a scream tore through the silence. 6 animals scattered, then froze because the sound wasn't just pain. It was rupture. Naruto's body convulsed violently against the forest floor, red chakra erupting from his skin in unstable bursts. The ground beneath him cracked, leaves lifting into the air as if gravity itself had forgotten its purpose. The creatures that had once gathered peacefully around him now watched in confusion. Instinct screamed at them to run, but something deeper, something older, forced them to stay. Time stretched, minutes blurred into something longer, and then silence. A snake slithered forward first, cautious, measured. Its tongue flickered as it approached Naruto's still form. What it saw was not the same child. His frame had lengthened, subtly, unnaturally, as if his body had been forced to skip years in moments. Muscles defined themselves beneath his skin, lined but coiled with quiet strength. But that wasn't what made the creature hesitate. It was what moved beneath him. Ripples, tiny distortions traveling under his skin, like something alive was shifting, searching, adjusting. The snake recoiled slightly. Then Naruto groaned, a low, strained sound. His fingers twitched. What? His eyes opened, purple, endless, awake. Inside, Kurama exhaled slowly. It's done. But even as he said it, he knew it wasn't. Naruto pushed himself up slowly, his movements unfamiliar even to himself. His senses flooded instantly, every sound sharper, every movement clearer, every breath in the forest visible as faint streams of energy. Everything feels loud, he muttered. That's because you're finally seeing what was always there, Kurama replied. Chakra, flow, intent. Naruto blinked and the world responded. The mist-like currents around him shifted with his focus. I can see it. A pause, all of it. Kurama didn't answer immediately, because he was watching something else, something beneath that awareness. Naruto turned his head. The animals hadn't left. Massive forms lingered in the shadows, predators, watchers, silent witnesses, but they weren't hostile, they were waiting. You stayed. No fear, no tension. Naruto simply observed them. Then, come here. The words slipped out naturally, not a command, not a request, something in between, and they obeyed. Slowly, cautiously, 3 stepped forward, a small orange snake, a dark-furred fox, and an owl descending from above with silent wings. They approached him not as prey, not as threat, but as something drawn. Naruto extended his hand. The snake was first. It climbed him without hesitation, coiling lightly along his arm before slipping into his sleeve. The fox followed, leaping onto his shoulder, its warmth pressing gently against his neck. The owl landed last, settling opposite the fox, its sharp eyes never leaving Naruto's face. You're not afraid. Naruto's voice was quiet, almost curious. They shouldn't be. Kurama's tone carried faint amusement. They recognized something in you. Naruto didn't ask what, because deep down, he already knew. Stay with me. The words were simple but final. The three creatures exchanged brief glances. Then, they agreed. A pulse of chakra surged from Naruto's core. Thin threads extended outward, connecting. Linking, binding. For a moment all four froze, then. Voices not spoken, not heard, but understood. Can you hear us? Naruto's eyes widened slightly. Yeah. The snake's presence was sharp, fluid, the owl's calm, observant, the fox's warm, playful. Names, Naruto said softly. There was a pause, then. Subum Akun Minka, Naruto nodded once. Naruto. The connection settled, stable, alive. Kurama watched everything and said nothing, because this was not something he had taught. Naruto stood slowly, his body felt lighter, stronger, but beneath that, there was something else, a quiet hum, a presence watching, waiting. Sensei. Oh. Kurama responded immediately, yes. Naruto's gaze lifted slightly. What else is inside me? Silence for the first time. Kurama did not have an answer. We'll find out. But even he didn't believe that fully. The forest shifted around them. The moment passed, but the question remained. Years blurred, not peacefully, not gently, but violently. Training wasn't growth, it was survival. Pain became routine, silence became comfort, and emotion became unnecessary. By the time Naruto stood beneath the same sky again, he was no longer the child who had been cast out. He had graduated early, excelled without recognition, and disappeared into the shadows of ANBU, alongside one person who never questioned him. 6. Itachi or Weasel. Naruto stood beside him. Lord, Fox. Two shadows among many, but different, always different. Orders received, Weasel said calmly. Fox nodded once. No wasted movement, no wasted thought, because tonight, the village stood on the edge of collapse. Inside the Hawkage Tower, Minato listened, and with every word, the weight of his past grew heavier, because the name Naruto was never spoken, and yet it echoed in everything. Can you stop it? Minato asked finally. Fox didn't hesitate. Yes. That alone froze the room. Minato's eyes narrowed. Explain. Fox stepped forward slightly, calm, controlled. I can remove the influence driving them. Minato's mind raced. Impossible. No known method, no known seal. You're claiming to solve something generations couldn't. Fox didn't react. I already have. Silence then. Weasel moved, just enough to reveal the mark hidden beneath his collar. Minato's breath caught. That's proof, Weasel said. The room shifted. Doubt turned into something else, something dangerous, hope. Minato looked back at Fox, really looked this time. The posture, the presence, the familiarity, something about him felt wrong. Who are you? Fox didn't answer, because that question had no simple answer anymore. Permission to proceed, Weasel said. Minato hesitated, just for a second, then. Oh, granted. They vanished. That night, the Uchiha compound didn't burn, it didn't fall, it changed, quietly, surgically, irreversibly. One by one. Seals were placed, not to control, not to suppress, but to sever something deeper. Fugaku felt it the moment it happened. Clarity, silence, freedom. What have you done? It's over, Weasel replied simply. And for the first time in years, the weight on the clan lifted. Hours later, Fox stood once again before the Hawkage. Mission complete, no bloodshed, no massacre, only silence. The threat is gone. Minato stared at him, long, hard, because now there was no denying it. This Anbu, this boy, carried something beyond understanding. You've done something extraordinary. Fox said nothing. Minato leaned back slowly. You remind me of someone. A pause, just a fraction, barely noticeable, but it was there. Fox lowered his head slightly. That's unlikely. Minato's eyes narrowed because something in that voice almost broke through. Almost. Fox turned ready to leave, but just before he vanished, Minato spoke again. If I asked you to remove a curse from someone else. Fox stopped. Would you? A long silence followed, then. Well, that depends. Minato's voice softened. On what? Fox didn't turn back. On whether they deserved to be saved. And then, he was gone. The whisper didn't fade, it lingered, curled around Naruto's thoughts like smoke that refused to disperse. Naruto. What? It was Kurama, that much was certain. Kurama felt it too. Deep within the seal, the Nine Tails remained still, unnaturally still, his usual arrogance replaced with something far more dangerous. Caution, that voice again, Naruto muttered internally. No answer came, only silence, but it wasn't empty, it was watching. What? The night air outside the Hawkage Tower felt colder than usual. Naruto stood in the shadows, ANBU mask in hand, his Rinnegan dim beneath half-lowered lids. The mission was complete, the village was safe, and yet something felt wrong. Remove it. The voice of the Hawkage cut through the silence behind him. Naruto didn't turn immediately, a brief pause, then he obeyed. The mask lifted, and the moment it did, the world shifted. 6. Minato's breath caught, there was no mistaking it, that face, that hair, that presence. Naruto. Not a question, a realization, but it was the eyes that shattered him, not blue, not warm, but endless, cold, rippled with something that did not belong to any child. Rinnegan, Minato's thoughts spiraled instantly. Impossible, no bloodline, no explanation. No, how? But Naruto didn't answer, didn't explain, didn't react, because the boy Minato remembered. Wasn't standing there anymore. Is that all, Hokage-sama? His voice was calm, flat, respectful. But empty. Minato opened his mouth, then closed it, because what could he say? What could a man say to the son he had thrown away? Who now stood before him stronger than anything he understood. Yes. The word barely left his lips. Naruto nodded once, the mask returned to his face, and in the next instant, he was gone, leaving behind nothing but faint sparks in the air. And a father drowning in regret. The silence in the Hawkage office stretched long after Naruto disappeared. Minato sank back slowly, hands trembling. What have I done? What? Elsewhere. The ANBU headquarters buzzed faintly with quiet movement. Shadows returned from missions. Lives returned from the edge, but Naruto didn't linger. He changed in silence, moved in silence, existed in silence, until Naruto. Itachi or Weasel. Naruto paused briefly, then continued removing his gear. You didn't have to stay, Naruto said quietly. Your family needed you. Itachi watched him carefully. There was something off, not in strength, not in presence, but in distance. They're alive because of you. Naruto didn't respond. Instead, he folded his uniform with precise mechanical movements. You should go, he added, a pause, then. I will handle the aftermath. Itachi's gaze softened slightly. You always do. Oh? Naruto didn't acknowledge that, didn't deny it either, because both of them knew. It was true. Moments later, Naruto walked alone, no squad, no shadows, just him, and the faint presence of 3 companions resting quietly with him. Inside, Kurama finally spoke. You're slipping. Naruto's eyes didn't change, I know. That other presence. It wasn't louder, but it was closer. The walk home felt longer than usual, not because of distance, but because of memory. Every step echoed with something he refused to revisit, until he reached the door and stepped inside. Voices warm, unaware, he's incredible. Mikoto's voice, pride, genuine. Naruto paused, not visibly, but internally. Something flickered. He and Itachi are unmatched. Naruto exhaled quietly. Not emotion, just acknowledgement. Inside the room, Minato stood frozen. Kushina smiled through something fragile. Neither of them noticed Naruto yet, but they would soon. Before that, a small sound, soft footsteps. Naruto turned and saw her. Naruko, half asleep, blanket dragging behind her, eyes barely open. Nah. Her voice was broken, tired, searching. Naruto didn't think, didn't calculate, didn't hesitate. He moved and knelt in front of her. It's late, Na-chan. His voice changed, subtly, not warm, but softer. She blinked once, then launched forward. 6. Her small arms wrapped around him tightly, as if he had always been there, as if he always would be. Naruto caught her easily, one arm supporting her weight, the other steady. She buried her face against him and instantly relaxed. Minato and Kushina froze because this wasn't something they had ever seen, not with him, not like this. Their son, who wouldn't even meet their eyes, held his sister like she was the only thing that mattered, and for a moment, that was true. Naruto stood, carrying her effortlessly. He didn't look at them immediately, didn't acknowledge them until Hokage-sama. A slight nod, Namikaze-sama. Formal, distant, sharp. Kushina's chest tightened. Minato didn't move, because those weren't the words of a son, they were the words of a stranger. Naruto walked past them, into the kitchen, routine, water, silence, normal, as if none of this mattered. Mikoto smiled when she saw him, and Naruto smiled back, small, genuine, real, and that hurt more than anything, because it meant he could still feel, just not for them. Conversation flowed, light, casual, but beneath it, truth surfaced: the coup, the danger, the solution. Naruto spoke of it like it was nothing, like lives hadn't balanced on the edge of annihilation, like he hadn't held that edge steady himself. They're safe. That was all he said, and that was enough. Gratitude filled the room, from Mikoto, from the air, from everything. Except the two people who should have said it first, because they didn't know how anymore. Naruto finished his water, adjusted his hold on Naruko. I'm going upstairs. Simple, direct, final, sleep well. He didn't wait for a response, didn't look back, just walked away. The silence he left behind was suffocating. Kushina's hands trembled slightly. Minato stared at the floor. Neither spoke, because both of them understood now. Without needing to say it, they hadn't just pushed Naruto away, they had lost him. Upstairs. Naruto laid Naruko down gently. She didn't wake, didn't stir, just held onto his sleeve slightly. Even in sleep, Naruto watched her, quietly, then, slowly, he pulled away. His eyes lifted, Rinnegan glowing faintly in the dark, and for a brief moment, that other presence stirred again, closer, clearer. You still hesitate. Naruto's expression didn't change. I don't. Then why didn't you break them? Silence. Because deep down, somewhere, something still remained. Kurama's voice cut in sharply. Enough. The presence faded slightly, not gone, just waiting. Naruto turned toward the window. The village stretched beyond, peaceful, fragile, temporary. Tomorrow, he whispered, because something was coming, he could feel it. The whisper did not leave. It lingered beneath Naruto's thoughts like a shadow that refused to detach. You felt it, didn't you? Naruto's eyes remained fixed on the dark ceiling above him. Naruko slept peacefully on his chest, her small fingers clutching his clothes as if he might disappear if she let go. He didn't move, didn't respond, but inside, something shifted. You're getting louder, Naruto said internally. The presence didn't answer immediately. It pulsed, slow, patient, not louder. Closer. Kurama's voice cut in sharply. Enough. For once, there was no arrogance in his tone, only warning, only control. Naruto exhaled slowly. I'm fine. But even he knew that wasn't true. Downstairs, the silence had shattered, not loudly, not violently, but with something far more dangerous: truth. Kushina's smile didn't reach her eyes. What were you talking about, Mikoto-chan? Her voice was soft, too soft, the kind of softness that tried to hide something sharp beneath it. Mikoto noticed immediately, and she didn't smile back this time. Your son. Simple, direct, and heavy. The air shifted. Minato didn't speak, didn't interrupt, because deep down, he already knew where this was going. Mikoto leaned forward slightly, her expression losing all warmth. I think it's time you stop pretending everything is fine. Her Sharingan flickered to life, not as a threat, but as a statement, and that alone made both Minato and Kushina tense. Upstairs. Naruto adjusted slightly. Naruto stirred. Don't go. Her voice was barely a whisper. Naruto stilled. I'm not. The words came out quietly, instinctively, and for a moment. The darkness inside him grew silent. But downstairs, it only grew heavier. You don't know him. Mikoto's voice cut through the room like a blade. You don't know what he's done, what he's become, who he stands beside. Kushina's hands trembled slightly. He's still our son. Mikoto's eyes sharpened. No. The word landed hard. He's not the child you think he is anymore. Minato flinched because he had seen it. Those eyes, that voice, that emptiness. Then tell us, Minato said quietly. What did we miss? Mikoto didn't answer immediately, because the truth wasn't simple and it wasn't kind. Upstairs, Naruto finally closed his eyes, but sleep didn't come easily, because the moment his consciousness dipped, he was pulled back inside. The inner world was different again, not broken, not collapsing, but deeper, darker. The sky no longer existed, only endless space. Kurama stood in the distance, silent, watching, and Naruto stood alone. You're here again. The voice came from everywhere and nowhere. Naruto didn't react. Show yourself. A pause, then. Laughter low, ancient, not yet. The space around him twisted slightly. You are still incomplete. Naruto's Rinnegan pulsed faintly, then stopped hiding. Oh. Silence then. Learn it. The presence receded again, but this time it left something behind, a feeling, a direction, a pull. Naruto's eyes snapped open, back in reality, breathing steady but sharper, focused. Sensei. Kurama didn't answer immediately. We need to talk. That alone was enough. Downstairs, Minato's voice echoed faintly. I called him a monster. The words hung in the air like a death sentence. Kushina's breath hitched. Mikoto didn't look surprised. When? Years ago. Silence then. Mikoto stood slowly. That was the moment you lost him. No anger, no shouting, just truth, and somehow that hurt more. Kushina shook her head. No, he wouldn't. He did. Mikoto's voice didn't rise, didn't need to. He came to us after that. Oh. That made both of them freeze. He trained with Itachi. Minato's eyes widened slightly. He grew stronger. Kushina's lips trembled. He stopped coming home. When that broke something. Upstairs. Naruto sat up slowly. Naruto shifted but didn't wake. His eyes drifted toward the window again. That pull. It hadn't disappeared, it had grown stronger. Something S calling me. Kurama's presence sharpened instantly. Don't follow it blindly. Naruto stood, careful not to wake her. I'm not. But even as he said it, he knew he already had. He gently adjusted Naruto on the bed. Her hand clung to his sleeve. Then slowly let go. Naruto paused for a moment, just a second. Then he turned away. The window opened silently. The night welcomed him back. Below, Mikoto walked toward the door. If you want to fix this. She stopped briefly. Start by understanding what you broke. Then she left, leaving behind 2 parents. And the weight of everything they had failed to see. Outside, Naruto stood on the edge of the roof. The village stretched endlessly beneath him, peaceful, ignorant, fragile. It's outside the village. He could feel it now, clearly, that presence, that pull. Kurama's voice lowered. Whatever that is, it's not chakra I recognize. Naruto's expression didn't change. Good. And then, he moved. The night did not feel like night anymore. It felt like something waiting. Naruto moved without sound, tree to tree, shadow to shadow, beyond the village walls, beyond the reach of familiar chakra. The deeper he went, the quieter the world became. Even the wind seemed to hesitate. You feel it too, Naruto murmured internally. Kurama didn't deny it this time. Yes. No arrogance, no dismissal, only tension. Whatever is calling you. A pause, it's not from this era. Naruto's Rinnegan pulsed faintly. Good. And he kept moving. Back in Konoha. Silence had settled again, but it wasn't peaceful, it was heavy, unfinished. Minato sat alone in his office, the same desk, the same walls, but everything felt different because now he remembered everything clearly, not as the Hawkage, but as a father. The moment he had lost control, the moment he had let something darker than anger take hold. Naruto standing at the door, small, hopeful, waiting. And Minato, destroying it. Minato's hand trembled slightly as it rested against the desk. I didn't even hesitate. The words barely left him, because that was the worst part, not the anger, not the mistake, but how easy it had been. His eyes shut tightly. I called him a monster. And somewhere deep inside, that moment replayed endlessly. Downstairs, Kushina sat in silence, her usual fire. Gone, replaced with something hollow. He looked right through me. Her voice was barely above a whisper, because that was what hurt the most, not rejection, not distance, but absence. He didn't hate us. She clenched her fist slightly. He just stopped needing us. The front door had long since closed behind Mikoto, but her words remained. That was the moment you lost him. Minato exhaled slowly. No. His voice steadied slightly. That was the moment he started walking away. A pause we just never followed. The house felt too quiet, too empty, even with people inside it. Upstairs, Naruto stirred in her sleep, small, peaceful, unaware. And Naruto's room was empty, far beyond the village. Naruto stopped. The forest here was different, older, denser, alive in a way that didn't welcome intrusion. 6. The ground beneath him pulsed faintly, not chakra, not nature energy, something else, something buried. Well, this is it. Naruto stepped forward, slow, measured. Each step felt heavier than the last, as if the world itself was resisting him. Kurama's voice dropped. Naruto, stop. That alone was enough to pause him. Not because of fear, but because Kurama never said that. Why? A long silence followed, then, because I can't see what's ahead. Naruto's eyes narrowed slightly, and for the first time, something like curiosity shifted inside him. Interesting. And he stepped forward anyway. The ground cracked, a symbol, ancient, broken, faintly glowing, began to reveal itself beneath his feet. Naruto's Rinnegan reacted instantly, patterns aligning, understanding forming, not learned, not taught, remembered. This. His voice lowered. This doesn't belong here. The air thickened, the trees around him lined slightly, as if trying to move away. Then, the whisper returned, clearer, closer. You found it. Naruto didn't flinch. What are you? Silent. Then, what you will become. The symbol beneath him ignited, light surged upward. Violent, uncontrolled, Naruto didn't move, didn't retreat, he stood there. And let it reach him. Inside, Kurama's eyes widened. No. But it was too late. The energy struck, not like an attack, not like pain, but like recognition. Naruto's mind was pulled again, deeper than before, beyond his inner world, beyond Kurama, beyond anything he had ever touched. And for the first time, he saw it. A vast empty space, endless, colorless, silent. And in the distance, something moved, not fully visible, not fully formed, but present, watching him. Naruto didn't speak, didn't react, because for the first time, even he felt something unfamiliar. Not fear, but scale. He took a step forward. The space didn't respond, didn't shift, didn't acknowledge distance. Not yet. The voice echoed, not from the entity, but from everywhere. But you will obey. Naruto's Rinnegan flickered violently, back in the real world. His body stood frozen, energy spiraling around him, unstable, growing. Kurama roared, but his voice did not reach. And then, the entity moved just slightly. Enough for Naruto to see its eyes. Not red, not gold, not anything familiar. Endless like his, but older, colder. And smiling, the seal was cracking, not visibly, not physically, but something deep within Naruto, something tied to his very existence, had begun to shift beyond control. The void faded, the presence vanished. But the feeling remained, watching, waiting. Naruto staggered slightly as his consciousness snapped back into his body. The forest returned, the cold air, the silence, but nothing felt the same anymore. That wasn't chakra, he muttered. Kurama didn't answer immediately, because for the first time, he didn't have one. Naruto, the fox finally said, voice low, measured, we leave, now. Naruto didn't argue, didn't question, but before he moved, his gaze dropped to the ground, that symbol still faintly glowing, still alive. I'll come back. And then, he vanished, back in Konoha. The house stood quiet, almost peaceful, almost normal. Minato and Kushina walked down the hallway slowly, not speaking, not needing to, because both of them were lost in the same thoughts. The same memories, the same regrets. As they passed Naruto's room, they stopped just for a moment. The door was slightly open, and inside, they saw him. Naruto lay still on the bed, Naruto curled up against his chest, her tiny form rising and falling with his breathing, completely at ease, safe, protected, at peace. 5. Kushina's expression softened, Minato's shoulders lowered slightly, for the first time that night. They smiled, not as Hokage, not as shinobi, but as parents. They quietly closed the door, unaware that Naruto's eyes were already open. He had sensed them, felt their presence, recognized it instantly, but he didn't move, didn't call out, didn't acknowledge it. Too late. The whisper escaped his mind, not his lips, and slowly, he closed his eyes again. In their room, Kushina and Minato collapsed onto the bed, exhaustion finally catching up. The day had taken too much, too many truths, too many realizations. For a while, neither spoke. Then, Minato, Hamlet. A pause, did you know? Minato didn't look at her. About what? Kushina hesitated, his eyes. That was enough. Minato's expression darkened slightly. Yes. Silence then. They weren't blue anymore. Kushina sat up instantly. What? The Rinnegan. The word landed heavy, unreal, impossible. Kushina's breath caught. That's not possible. Minato exhaled slowly. I saw it myself. And the worst part was that it explained things, too many things. How, she whispered. Minato didn't answer immediately, because his mind had already gone somewhere darker. Maybe. He hesitated. Maybe we were never supposed to survive that night. Kushina turned sharply. What are you saying? Minato's eyes finally met hers. The night we sealed the 9 tails. What? The memory surfaced instantly, clear, burning, unavoidable. Blood, pain, sacrifice, and death. That never came. Minato clenched his jaw. Something interfered. Kushina's hands tightened. You think Naruto? No. He shook his head. He was just a child. But still, something didn't add up. Then why are we alive? Kushina whispered. Minato didn't answer because deep down, he feared the truth. Far beyond their reach. Something listened and smiled. Morning came slowly, but it came. Hope returned with it, fragile, uncertain, but present. This time, Kushina whispered to herself, I won't let him slip away again. Minato nodded slightly, even if he wasn't sure how. Steam filled the bathroom as warm water fell. Neither of them spoke at first, lost in thought, rehearsing words they didn't know how to say. Do you think he'll listen? Kushina asked quietly. Minato hesitated, then. I don't know. Honest, painfully so, but we have to try. What? Kushina leaned slightly into him, not for comfort, but for strength. We don't even know him anymore. Minato's expression softened, then we learn. A pause from the beginning if we have to. Far away. A sudden scream echoed through the village, loud, dramatic, pain-filled. Minato winced slightly, Jurya-sensei. Kushina, however, smiled a dangerous smile, serves him right. Somewhere in Konoha, the Toad Sage regretted every life decision that led him to that exact moment. Back in the Namikaze home, the tension broke slightly, just enough to breathe. We'll talk to him today, Kushina said firmly. Minato nodded, together. Neither of them noticed that outside, on the rooftop, a shadow stood watching. Naruto. He had returned, silently, unnoticed. His gaze lingered on the horizon, not the village, not the house, but beyond. It's still there. Kurama's voice was tense, yes. Naruto's Rinnegan flickered faintly, and it's waiting. A pause, then. So am I. The crack within the seal did not close. It spread quietly, silently, like something patient, learning where to break. Far beyond Konoha, the ancient mark Naruto had awakened dimmed once more, but it was not gone, it had recognized him. And now, it was waiting. Back in the Namikaze home. Morning light filtered through the windows, soft and warm, a lie, because beneath that calm, everything was fragile. Minato and Kushina stood outside Naruto's door for just a moment longer than necessary. Inside. Peace. Naruto curled against Naruto's chest. Naruto still, quiet, breathing slow. 4. Kushina smiled faintly. He stayed. Minato nodded for her. They didn't say it aloud. But both understood Naruto wasn't there because of them. They closed the door gently and walked away. Inside the room, Naruto opened his eyes. I know. Not annoyed, not angry, just aware. He had sensed them long before they reached the door, their hesitation, their regret, their presence. His gaze shifted downward. Naruto, still sleeping, still trusting, still untouched by everything he had become. Lucky. The word was quiet, almost distant. Minutes later, Naruto moved, or rather, his clone did, because the real Naruto was already gone. Far away, watching. Back in the room. The clone exhaled softly. You're slipping, Kurama muttered. I know. Naruto stirred, her small fingers tightened slightly against his chest. Ninai. The clone's expression softened just slightly. I'm here. Morning unfolded naturally. Naruto woke slowly, rubbing her eyes, her innocence untouched by the weight suffocating everyone else. Morning Ninai. Morning Na-chan. His hand moved instinctively to her head, gentle, familiar, and she purred softly. But beneath that calm, Naruto's thoughts twisted. What have I done? Not to the village, not to the world, but to them. He pushed it down like always. Breakfast, voices, laughter for a moment. It almost felt normal. Naruto spoke, answered, even smiled faintly. Not for Minato, not for Kushina, but for her, always for her. Because Naruto deserved that illusion. A family, a bond, something unbroken, even if it was built on something already shattered. When he stood to leave, that distance returned instantly, like a switch flipping. A good day to you, Minato-san, Kushina-san. Formal, polite, distant, gone. The silence that followed was louder than anything before. We're following them. Kushina didn't hesitate. Yes. Minato nodded. We have to understand him. Even if it meant watching from the shadows. And so, they followed unseen, or so they thought. Naruto didn't turn, didn't react, but inside. They're behind us. Kurama growled faintly. I know. No surprise, no tension, just acknowledgement. Let them. The park came into view, children laughing, running, living, unaware of the darkness that surrounded them. Naruto ran ahead immediately, pure energy, pure light. Naruto watched her go, and for a moment, something softened again. You're staring. Oh. A voice behind him, calm, familiar. Naruto didn't turn immediately. You're early, Itachi. 5. It's quiet here. Itachi stepped beside him, watching the children, not joining, not belonging. Mikoto stood nearby, smiling but observant, always observant. Naruto turned slightly. You brought him. His gaze shifted, Sasuke small, quiet, hidden behind Mikoto's leg, watching. He doesn't join them. Naruto's voice was neutral, but his eyes noticed everything. Sasuke's gaze flickered between the children, longing, hesitation, fear. Mikoto sighed softly. He's not like the others. Naruto didn't respond immediately, because he understood that better than anyone. He will be. A simple statement, but absolute. Itachi glanced at him. You're certain? Oh. Naruto's Rinnegan flickered faintly. Yes. Because strength was not given, it was forced. Across the park, Naruto laughed, bright, carefree, alive. And for a moment, Naruto just watched. Behind him, two figures hid in silence, watching him, studying him, hoping. Naruto closed his eyes briefly. This won't last. Kurama didn't argue because he knew. Naruto wasn't talking about the moment. He was talking about everything. The word came this time, clear, undeniable. What, Satsuki? What? Naruto didn't flinch, but inside. Kurama froze completely, that name. For the first time since Naruto had met him. The Nine Tails sounded uncertain. The park still echoed with laughter, children ran, voices overlapped, life continued, as if nothing had changed. What? But for Naruto, everything had. He exhaled slowly, focus. Because whatever that presence was, he would not let it take control, not here, not now. Na-chan. His voice cut gently across the park. Naruto turned instantly, her bright eyes locked onto him, and she ran. 4. Naruto crouched down as she reached him, matching her height. Yeah, Onyai-chan. Her voice was light, carefree, unaware. Naruto's gaze shifted briefly. Sasuke, still behind Mikoto, still watching, still alone. Can you help me with something? Naruto tilted her head, curious. Naruto leaned slightly closer. Go bring him into your group. A small nod toward Sasuke. He won't go on his own. What? Naruto followed his gaze, saw him, understood instantly. She smiled wide, bright, and nodded. Okay. And then, she was gone, in a blur of red. She appeared in front of Sasuke, too close, too sudden, too overwhelming. You're Sasuke, right? Wanna play? Come on. No pause, no hesitation, no escape. And before Sasuke could even process what was happening, he was already being dragged. Naruto watched silently. 5. Mikoto laughed softly. Itachi's lips twitched, barely noticeable. Sasuke stumbled into the group, rigid at first, uncertain but slowly. Very slowly. He began to respond. Naruto didn't look away, not even once. You're always watching her. Mikoto's voice was gentle, knowing. Someone has to. Naruto's answer came without hesitation. Because he had already seen what the world did to people. He wouldn't let it touch her, not yet. They sat, the three of them, watching, waiting. The compound, Naruto asked suddenly. Mikoto nodded. It's calmer now. A pause because of you. Naruto didn't react, didn't accept it, didn't deny it. Good. Then, silence until. And you. Mikoto's tone shifted, softer, concerned. Your family. Naruto didn't answer immediately. His gaze remained locked on Naruto. They tried. That alone was enough. Behind the trees, two figures stiffened, listening, hoping. And Itachi asked quietly. Naruto's eyes lowered slightly. I ruined it. No emotion, just fact. Mikoto frowned Naruto. It's not their fault. He cut her off, still calm, still distant. It's mine. Oh. Something moved beneath his skin, subtle but wrong. Tiny distortions. Like something crawling. Searching. Oh. Itachi saw it immediately. Naruto. Warning. Naruto inhaled slowly, and the movement stopped like it had never been there. I'm fine. Oh. You're lying. A new voice. Akun landed on his shoulder, silent, sharp, watching. Naruto sighed faintly. You always show up at the worst time. Or the right time, she replied. Mikoto crossed her arms. She's right. Naruto leaned back slightly. This is getting repetitive. 2 hits, one from each side. Be serious. Itachi's tone dropped. Naruto exhaled, long, controlled. It's my Kekkei Genka. That got their full attention. It's becoming unstable. Mikoto's expression darkened. What does that mean? Naruto's gaze flickered briefly, toward Naruto, still laughing, still safe. It reacts. A pause, distress to intent to something else. Something else, Itachi narrowed his eyes. Naruto didn't answer immediately, because even he didn't fully understand it. Sometimes, his voice lowered, it feels like it's not mine. Silence heavy, immediate. Mikoto clenched her fist slightly. That's not normal. No, Naruto agreed, it's not. Behind the trees. Minato's mind raced, Kekkei Genkai, Kyuubi Rinnegan, and now this. Nothing made sense anymore. Your sensei? Itachi asked. Naruto's expression hardened slightly, even he doesn't know. That was worse. Much worse. Because if Kurama didn't understand it, then what exactly was growing inside Naruto? Naruto's eyes lifted again, Rinnegan faintly glowing. You're starting to notice. The voice returned, closer, sharper. Naruto's fingers curled slightly. Not here. You won't be able to stop it forever. Kurama's presence surged, protective, furious. Stay out of this. But the voice only laughed. Naruto stood suddenly. We're done here. Mikoto frowned. It's not resolved. It doesn't need to be. His gaze shifted toward Naruto. We're leaving. Because something was changing, faster now, closer now. And he refused. To let it reach her, the whisper did not fade this time. It lingered, clearer, sharper, closer than ever before. Otsutsuki vessel. Naruto's eyes didn't change, but inside. Something tightened. Kurama's presence flared instantly. That word again. Not anger, not arrogance, but something far worse. Recognition, I've heard it before, Kurama muttered, voice low. Long ago, before even your village existed. Naruto's gaze hardened slightly, then stopped holding back. Silence because Kurama, for once, had nothing more to say. The park still echoed with laughter, children running, Naruto shouting, Sasuke slowly, finally beginning to belong. But Naruto stood still, between two worlds, one filled with light, the other. Calling him. He didn't create it. Naruto's voice cut through the moment, calm and grounded. Mikoto blinked. What? My power. Then pause. My sensei didn't make it. Kurama scoffed internally, obviously. Naruto ignored him. He found it. That changed everything. Mikoto's expression darkened instantly, and gave it to you anyway. Her voice carried quiet anger, protective, furious. Inside, Kurama snapped, I didn't give you a curse, brat. Naruto cut him off mentally, later. Akun fluttered her wings sharply. Dangerous is an understatement. Naruto sighed faintly, watch your language. Sorry, But she didn't take it back. Because they all knew. It was true. Naruto rubbed the bridge of his nose. It's getting worse. Itachi's eyes narrowed. How bad? What? Naruto didn't answer immediately. Instead, his gaze shifted toward Naruto, laughing, running, alive. Bad enough. What? Something moved beneath his skin again. Subtle, wrong, alive. This time, Mikoto saw it clearly and her expression hardened. Naruto. What? He exhaled slowly and forced it down again. I'll manage. What? You always say that. Akyun's tone was sharper now. Naruto didn't respond because he had no better answer. The original is training. He added after a moment, I'm just a clone. What? Itachi nodded slowly. To stabilize yourself. What? To survive. Naruto corrected quietly. That word lingered, heavy, uncomfortable, real. And Naruto. Mikoto asked, concern clear. Naruto's expression softened, just barely. She's the only reason I haven't lost control. What? And that wasn't an exaggeration. What? Before anything else could be said, a blur of red crashed into him. For Naruto and I come play. Naruto's voice exploded with energy. Ino, Sakura, and even Sasuke followed, dragging him, pulling him, laughing. And for a moment, Naruto didn't resist. He let himself be pulled, let himself be surrounded, let himself be normal. He chased them, caught them, tickled them, laughed. Softly, genuinely. And from the shadows, two figures watched, frozen. That's... Kushina's voice trembled, our son. Minato didn't answer because he couldn't. Mikoto didn't even look at them. You're terrible at hiding. What? Both parents stiffened. I know. Minato whispered. Akyun turned her head slightly. He always knows. What? Kushina's chest tightened. Then why? But she couldn't finish. Because the answer was standing right in front of her, laughing, playing, but never looking back. Suddenly, movement fast, precise. Shikaku's arm flicked. An object cut through the air, silent, sharp. Naruto didn't turn, didn't look, didn't react. He caught it effortlessly. An apple. 5. A bite, a smirk, you'll have to try harder. Laughter erupted, children, adults, even Itachi's lips curved slightly. Troublesome, Shikaku muttered, but he was smiling. Behind the trees, Minato smiled just slightly, pride unspoken. He beat Shikaku. Kushina whispered. Then Shogi. Itachi answered calmly, without looking. That only deepened the silence. Eventually, the moment ended. Naruto stepped back. Naruto still clinging to him, laughing. We're leaving. His tone changed instantly. The warmth, gone. The distance, back. Kushina flinched, Minato clenched his jaw. But they didn't follow this time. Because now, they understood. It wasn't that Naruto didn't care. It was that he didn't know how to come back. And far away, beyond the village, that ancient presence stirred again, stronger, closer, hungry. Vessel awaken. What? Naruto stopped mid-step just for a second. His Rinnegan flared. Not yet. What? But the voice only laughed. Because it knew. Time was running out. The whisper no longer waited, it moved, through his thoughts, through his senses, through him. You are remembering. What? Naruto's step slowed just slightly. Not enough for anyone else to notice, but enough for Kurama to feel it. Naruto. A warning. I'm still here. Naruto replied internally, calm, controlled, but tighter than before. Behind him, laughter faded, the park became distant, and the world shifted again. Focus. He forced it because losing control now. was not an option. The memory surfaced on its own, not forced, not summoned, but pulled. Hana, 5. That's how it started. Naruto's voice was quieter now, not distant, not cold, but real. Mikoto listened. Itachi didn't interrupt, even the hidden presence of his parents. Stayed still. She helped someone I couldn't protect. A pause, so I stayed. Naruto's gaze lowered slightly. And somewhere along the way, it stopped being just gratitude. Minka's voice echoed faintly in his mind. You were crying that day. Naruto didn't respond to that. We built something. He continued slowly, carefully. Mikoto smiled faintly. That sounds like you. Naruto didn't deny it. But then, Subam spoke sharp, unfiltered, and the people who hurt her paid the price. Minato stiffened behind the trees. Kushina's breath caught. Naruto didn't look back. Yes. Silent. You remember the incident. Naruto said quietly. Minato stepped forward unconsciously. The monument. Naruto nodded once. They were lucky. The air dropped several degrees. I stopped early. That alone was enough. Even Kurama didn't speak. Don't. Itachi's voice cut in, low, firm. Naruto exhaled, and the movement beneath his skin stopped again. But this time, it took longer. Atsunade. Kushina's voice came from behind now. No more hiding, no more distance. Naruto didn't turn immediately, but he didn't ignore her either. She found me. A pause when I needed someone who understood what I was becoming. That wasn't love at first, not affection. It was survival. She didn't ask me to change. Naruto's voice lowered. She just stayed. Mikoto closed her eyes briefly, understanding. And the third. Minato asked, careful, measured. Naruto's gaze shifted, far away, beyond the village. Ryuyuzatsu. 4. She was dying. The words were simple, but the memory wasn't, and I was too late. A pause for everyone else. Kurama's voice growled faintly. You were. Naruto ignored it. I didn't save her. His tone darkened slightly. I avenged her. That difference meant everything. And she stayed. Silence followed, heavy, real. Naruto turned slightly now, not fully, but enough. That's my life. No emotion, no pride, no apology. Just truth. Minato stood frozen because for the first time, Naruto hadn't pushed them away. He had let them see. You built all of that. Kushina whispered, alone. Naruto didn't answer because that was obvious. A moment passed, then Naruto stepped forward. I need to clean up. Back to neutral, back to distance. He walked past them just like before. But this time, he paused just for a second. Naruto will be back soon. A warning, a reminder. And then, he was gone. Minato didn't move, he told us. Kushina nodded slowly, he actually told us. Not everything, but enough. It's a start, Minato said quietly. But even as he said it, his mind was racing. Kekkeigenkai Rinnegan, unknown entity, unstable power. And something else. That didn't belong in any known system. I need answers. Kushina looked at him, what are you thinking? Minato's expression hardened, not as a father, but as Hawkage. His body. His scars. And whatever is inside him. Kushina's eyes narrowed slightly. You want his medical report. Minato nodded everything. Because whatever Naruto was becoming, it wasn't normal. And if they didn't understand it soon, they might lose him completely, far away, beyond their reach. That ancient presence stirred again, stronger, closer, certain. He is ready. The presence did not retreat, it adapted. You are opening doors you do not understand. Naruto stood still for a moment longer after leaving them. The village felt smaller now, quieter, like everything around him existed on borrowed time. Not yet, he muttered under his breath, but even he knew. That answer wouldn't hold forever. Behind him, hope had begun to grow, fragile, dangerous. I'll get the report tomorrow. Minato's voice carried quiet resolve, not as a hawkage, but as a father trying to catch up to a son he no longer recognized. Kushina nodded beside him. We need to know everything. That night, the house felt different, not healed, not whole, but no longer completely broken. Naruko returned first, exhausted, happy, alive, and like always. She found her place. Naruto sat near the window, silent, watching the fading light. Without a word, she climbed into his lap, curled up, and leaned against him. He didn't move her, didn't resist, didn't push her away. Tired? He asked quietly. Hamlet. She nodded, eyes half closed. Today was fun. Naruto's gaze softened slightly. Good. For a moment, there was nothing else, no past, no future, just this. Then, a rustle. Naruto's eyes shifted, curious, always curious. Something peeked out from Naruto's clothing, a folded letter. Slowly, carefully, she pulled it free, a small, mischievous smile forming. 7. She unfolded it, stared, blinking. Wait. The symbols meant nothing to her, too complex, too distant. What do we have here? Naruto's voice came from above, low, amused. Naruto froze, slowly turned. Naruto looked down at her, a faint smirk on his face, not cold, not distant, but teasing. A little spy. Naruto gulped. He took the letter back easily, holding it just out of her reach. I wanna read it. She whined, reaching, failing. Naruto chuckled softly. Can you even understand it? She pouted instantly. Mine. Naruto sighed lightly, then. Fine. He leaned back slightly, Naruto settling against him again. Safe, warm, listening. It's from someone important. His voice was quieter now. And he read not every word, but enough. A name, a failing, a distance. Ryuyuzatsu. Naruto blinked. Who's Ryu that? Naruto smiled faintly. Ryuyuzatsu. Then, she's one of my girlfriends. Naruto tilted her head, confused. Girlfriend. Naruto's eyes flickered slightly, a strange glint passing through them. It means someone special. A pause, someone you care about. Naruto thought about that hard. Like you. Naruto froze for just a fraction of a second. Then, yeah. She smiled, satisfied. But Naruto wasn't done, and this time, there was mischief. And when people care about each other a lot. He leaned slightly closer. They can have babies. Naruto blinked once, twice. Hug. Naruto placed a finger gently on her lips. That's something you should ask Mom and Dad. A pause, then. Her eyes lit up. And she ran. Naruto didn't move, just listened. Mommy, Daddy, where do babies come from? Silent. Then, a loud crash. Naruto leaned back slightly, a rare. Genuine. Smile forming. Perfect. The night passed quietly, but beneath it, something continued to grow. The next morning, the air was tense again. Minato stood in his office, Kushina beside him, both silent, both waiting. Not as parents this time, but as people preparing to face the truth. A knock. Come in. What? The door opened. Shizune stood there, expression neutral, eyes unreadable. She didn't step inside, didn't speak much. Just handed over the file. Hawkage-sama. What? And turned away. The door closed. Silent. The report felt heavier than it should. Minato didn't open it immediately. Because once he did, there would be no going back. Kushina's hand tightened slightly. Minato. What? He nodded and opened it. The page did not end, it deepened. Minato's fingers tightened slightly on the report, not out of fear, but restraint. Because every line he had just read was a failure not of a Hawkage, but of a father. Kushina's breath trembled beside him. He went through all of that. Her voice cracked, alone. What? Minato didn't answer, because there was no answer that could justify it. The room felt smaller, heavier, like the air itself carried the weight of everything they hadn't seen. Blacklight. Kushina whispered, eyes locked onto the report. What even is that? What? Minato shook his head slowly. It's not in any registry. A pause, not in any archive either. What? That alone was wrong. Because if something like that existed, he should have known. And the injuries. Kushina's grip tightened. They don't even make sense. What? Broken, destroyed, burned, torn apart. And yet, he kept standing. Minato's jaw clenched. He wasn't surviving. A pause, he was being forced to. What? Silent. What? Then, a voice. You're finally starting to see it. What? Both of them turned instantly. The window. A small black fox sat there, still, watching. Its eyes, too sharp, too aware. Minato's instincts flared immediately, hand moving. Only to stop. Don't bother. The fox spoke clear and cold. Kushina froze, it talked. What? The fox tilted its head slightly, obviously. What? Minato narrowed his eyes. You're one of his. What? A faint grin, sharp, knowing. Finally caught up, old man. What? That tone, that familiarity. Minka. What? The fox's tail flicked once. Good. What? Kushina stepped forward slightly. What are you doing here? What? Minka didn't answer immediately. Instead, she watched them carefully, judging. Then, two more. What? What? Minato's expression darkened instantly. What? What? Assassination attempt. Flat, emotionless. 20 minutes ago. What? The room dropped into silence. Kushina's eyes widened. What? What? They're dead. Minka added casually. They won't try again. What? Minato's chakra spiked. Just slightly controlled but dangerous. Whom? What? Minka leaned forward slightly, then disappeared from the window. Only to return a second later, scroll in her mouth. She dropped it onto the desk. Everything you need is in there. What? No hesitation, no explanation. Just facts. Then, she turned. He doesn't know I told you. What? Minato's eyes narrowed. Why? What? For the first time. Minka paused. Because you're late. What? And then, she was gone. What? The room felt colder. Minato stared at the scroll for a long moment. Then, he unsealed it. Smoke, and from it, objects fell onto the desk. 4. 2 identification tags, blood-stained, cracked. Weapons broken, used. Kushina covered her mouth again. What? Minato picked one up, studied it. His expression didn't change, but his grip tightened. Civilian council. What? The words came out cold, certain. Kushina's eyes burned. They're still trying. What? They never stopped. What? That was the truth. Naruto hadn't been abandoned once. He had been hunted continuously, silently, relentlessly. And they had done nothing. Minato closed his eyes just for a moment, then opened them again. Different. No more. Kushina looked at him, and for the first time since last night, there was no hesitation in his voice. Only decision. This ends today. Far away, on the edge of the village, Naruto stopped walking. His Rinnegan pulsed faintly. They know. Kurama's voice rumbled about the attacks. Naruto nodded slightly. Minka told them. The pause. Good. But his expression didn't soften. Because something else was happening inside him. That presence was no longer whispering. It was aligning. You are being shaped. Naruto's fingers curled slowly. I decide what I become. The voice laughed, not loudly, but knowingly. The change had already begun, not visible to the world. But inside, Naruto was no longer standing still. He was being shaped. Far from the village, that presence pulsed again, stronger, closer. You are being prepared. Naruto's eyes narrowed. I'm not your tool. The voice didn't argue, it didn't need to. We will say. Inside the Hawkage's office, the air had turned sharp, heavy, dangerous. Minato's fingers tightened around the identification tags. John and K's Hana's Yubishu Chunin Asato Terno. His voice was low, controlled, but filled with something darker than anger. Kushina stood beside him, silent, trying to process everything at once. Assassins report secrets, their son. Living a life they never even knew existed. Before she could speak, a flicker of movement. An ANBU appeared, silent. Precise, a scroll in hand. Message for the Hawkage. Gone again. Minato stared at the scroll, then at Kushina, then back again. This won't be good. He broke the seal, right. And his expression changed. Not shock. Fury. That bastard. Kushina stiffened. What happened? Minato lowered the scroll slowly. He's crossed the line. A pause, then. I'm calling Naruto. Kushina's eyes widened. Why him? Minato didn't answer immediately, because the truth was simple and cruel. Because no one else can do it. His chakra flared. An ANBU appeared instantly, dog mask, kneeling. Summon Fox. Gone. Kushina stepped forward. Minato. Orochimaru. That name alone changed everything. He captured one of ours. Kushina froze. What? Unused Uzumaki. Silence then. He did what? The room shook. And in the next second, Naruto was there. Kneeling, masked, silent. You called Hokage-sama. Minato exhaled slowly. Stand up. Naruto rose. The air shifted. Because this time, this wasn't father and son. This was Hokage. And weapon. You have a mission. The scroll was handed over. Naruto read. And the moment he did, everything changed. The air around him ignited. 5 blue flames crackling, unstable, alive. The scroll burned to ash in his hand. Naruto didn't move, didn't speak. But the hatred was suffocating. Orochimaru. Even Kurama was silent. Naruto closed his eyes briefly, then the flames vanished. Control forced sharp. Team or solo? Minato watched him carefully. You'll have support. Naruto nodded once. Understood. A pause then. Assign my trainees to Weasel. Even now, thinking ahead. Minato nodded, done. Kushina stepped forward just slightly. Be careful. Naruto looked at her. For a moment, something flickered. Then, he nodded and vanished, leaving behind only burning red feathers. Minato stared that technique. Kushina whispered, he's beyond us now. At the Hyuga compound, flames twisted and Naruto appeared. The guard smiled, familiar, respectful. Back again, Naruto-san. Just for a moment. The moment he stepped inside. Impact. Two small bodies collided with him. Naruko Hinata. Niniai. Loniai Chama. Naruto stumbled back slightly, then steadied. And smiled. Not forced, not distant. Real. Hey. They clung to him like he might disappear. Hayashi watched from the veranda, silent, observing. You're leaving. Naruto didn't deny it, yeah. Hayashi's expression hardened slightly. Be careful. Naruto nodded, always. He knelt, pulled both girls into a hug. I'll be back. Naruko didn't argue, didn't question. But her grip tightened. Hinata's voice trembled, promise. Naruto paused just for a second. Then, promise. But inside, I know. Nothing was guaranteed anymore. They let go reluctantly, but not without resistance. Big eyes, trembling lips. A combined attack. Even Naruto almost faltered. Almost. Not this time. He ruffled their hair gently. Then, stepped back. Be good. And turned. Because if he stayed, he might not leave. And he had to. Because somewhere, deep in the shadows, Orochimaru was waiting. And something else was waking up. The forest did not feel like home anymore. It felt like a threshold. Each step Naruto took away from Konoha pulled him closer to something else, something waiting. You walk toward it willingly. I walk because I choose to. Naruto replied coldly. But even he could feel it now, that pull stronger, sharper. And far ahead, a snake waited. At the Hyuga compound. The moment lingered just a little longer. Naruto held out the scrolls. Give these to your parents tonight. Naruko's eyes sparkled. Hinata held hers carefully, like it was something precious. So what? Naruto tilted his head slightly. I don't get a proper goodbye. Both girls froze. Then, instantly, they lunged. Hug attack. Naruto barely had time to react before they clung to him again. Bye-bye, Oniai-chan. Bye, Oniai-chama. Their voices echoed as they ran off. Naruto watched them go. Kids, a faint smile gone just as quickly. And then, fire, he vanished. At ANBU headquarters. The air was colder, sharper. Squad 3 waited, silent, prepared. You think he'll be late? Turtle muttered. He's not Kakashi. Eagle replied flatly. And I'd prefer not being compared to him. They turned. Naruto stood there, already watching. Zig, ready. No hesitation. Always. Naruto nodded. We're moving. No speeches, no wasted time. Just purpose. Back in the Namikaze household. Night settled quietly. But Kushina's mind didn't. Naruko squirmed in her arms. Mommy, open it. The scroll. Kushina blinked. Naruto gave you this. A bright nod. That alone made her smile. Inside Naruto's room, the air still carried his presence. She opened the scroll carefully. The seal activated. Smoke, and then a soft thump. Zig, a large plush. Naruto. Naruko squealed, then launched herself at it. Kushina blinked, then laughed softly. Of course he would. Moments later, Naruko was asleep, curled tightly around it. Safe, warm, happy. Kushina brushed her hair gently. You really love him. A quiet kiss on the forehead. And she left, but not without looking back. Come back safe. 8 days later, the world had changed. Odagakure stood ahead, silent, watching. Naruto crouched in the trees, eyes cold, focused. No detection. Sparrow exhaled softly. Your seals are insane. Naruto ignored it. Focus. Orders came quickly, precise. Split search confirmed. No mistakes. The team vanished into motion. Naruto didn't hesitate. Go. His familiars disappeared like shadows. Minka Sublime Akun. Eyes everywhere. Telepathic link active. Naruto murmured. Sparrow blinked seriously. Don't fall behind. Then, clones, 6 of them. They flickered and vanished. Completely. Sparrow froze. What? Naruto's voice came calmly, light manipulation. A pause. Bend reflection, erase presence. 15 minutes. Sparrow stared. That's insane. Naruto didn't respond. Because something else had just shifted. Underground. Inside the facility. Minka and Sublime moved silently, efficient, precise. Scroll after scroll. Sealed, erased. Zig. That's the last one. Minka whispered. The room fell still. Too still. Sublime's head lifted slightly. Something's wrong. A pause. Then, a sound. Not footsteps. Not movement. Breathing. Slow. Close. Very close. From the darkness, a voice emerged. How interesting. Cold, curious, amused. Little thieves in my home. Minka froze. Sublime's eyes narrowed. And somewhere above, Naruto's Rinnegan flared. We've been found. But the voice was already smiling. The moment broke, not slowly, not gently. It shattered. The connection snapped, and with it, something inside Naruto collapsed. Lost. For the first time, the voice did not sound curious. It sounded interested. Naruto stood frozen, then moved, fast, invisible, through rooftops, through shadows. Akun. The name left his lips like a prayer, or a curse, and then he saw it. Time didn't slow, it stopped. Zig, pinned, broken, and smiling. Orochimaru. Naruto's invisibility shattered like glass. He moved, not thinking, not planning. Just destroying. The kick landed, violent, precise. Orochimaru flew, but Naruto didn't chase. He turned. Akun. His voice cracked. Her breathing was shallow, fading. Naruto. His hands trembled. Green flames ignited. Hailing. Nothing happened. The flames flickered, then weakened. No. For the first time, Naruto's control slipped. Stay with me. Akun's eyes softened. Do. A pause, pain. Let me disappear. Naruto froze. What? Take me with you. Silent. I don't want to leave. His chest tightened. Please. Naruto's vision blurred. Like, you can. A final breath. I trust you. That was all. Naruto closed his eyes. And broke. The tendrils answered. They didn't wait, didn't hesitate. They wrapped around her gently, not consuming, keeping, and then she was gone, inside him, silent, forever. Clapping echoed slow, mocking. Fascinating. Naruto turned. Not a boy anymore. Something else. You'll pay. The ground cracked beneath him. His eyes burned. Red bled into purple. Kurama stirred Naruto. Too late. He moved. Faster than thought. Claws formed. Orochimaru barely blocked. The second strike. Landed. Blood. Then, impact. Buildings shattered. Walls collapsed. And Naruto followed. Relentless. Unstoppable. Zig. The transformation wasn't controlled. It was instinct. Wings tore through his back, armor formed. Something ancient wore his body. And Orochimaru didn't smile this time. I feared. And then he died. Not clean, not quick. Erased. Naruto stood over what remained, breathing heavy. Then he screamed, and the world answered. Tendrils, endless, they spread, through streets, through walls, through lives. No distinction, no mercy. Everything was consumed. Above, the sky went silent. Below, nothing moved. Odagaku was gone. Far away. The team felt it. What is that? Sublime trembled, Naruto. Minka sobbed, he's lost control. Even the IN Bayou froze, because what they felt wasn't human. Minutes later, it ended. The tendrils returned. Naruto stood alone, breathing shaking. What did I? Kurama stayed silent, because he knew. This wasn't just rage. This was evolution. Naruto dropped to one knee. Pain everywhere. Physically fine. Mentally. The pause. No. He forced himself up. Forced control back. Piece by piece. When he reached his team, they didn't move. Didn't speak. They feared him. But his familiars didn't hesitate. They clung to him, grounded him, and slowly, Naruto returned. Not fully, but enough. We're leaving. No one argued. The mission was over, but something else had just begun. As they vanished, Naruto didn't look back. But deep inside, that voice whispered again. Now you understand. And this time, Naruto didn't deny it. The silence after destruction was worse than the destruction itself. No screams, no enemies, no resistance. Just emptiness. And inside Naruto, something had settled, not calmed, not gone. Rooted. You have taken a step. Naruto didn't answer because part of him agreed. 8 days. That's how long it took for the absence to become unbearable. Naruto didn't understand missions, didn't understand distance, didn't understand loss. She only understood one thing. I want Ninja. And when she didn't get what she wanted, the world suffered for it. Crying, screaming, kicking. The house echoed with it. Kushina tried everything, Minato tried everything. Nothing worked. This isn't working. Minato muttered, exhausted. She can feel it. Kushina whispered, something's wrong. Naruto screamed again. Then, a voice cut through it. You thought I'd take that long. What? Silence instant absolute. Everyone turned. And there he was. Zeg, lining against the doorway. Smiling, but his eyes. What? Minato saw it first. Not fatigue, not stress. Loss. Naruto. What? No one moved. Naruto sniffled, then slowly walked toward him. Not running, not jumping. What? Careful, like she knew. Naruto crouched, opened his arms. Come here. What? She stepped into the hug. And for a moment, everything felt right again. But only for a moment. Because even she felt it. Something was missing. Ninja. She whispered softly, where is Akun? What? Naruto froze. Just slightly. Enough. Before he could answer. Another voice entered. Light, playful. Oh, Tilda, so this is the famous family. What? All eyes shifted. Anko Mitarashi stood there, relaxed, smirking. Name S. Anko. A small bow, and I guess I'm part of this mess now. What? Kushina blinked, Minato blinked. Naruto didn't react. Girlfriend. He added simply. Silent. Then, Naruto tilted her head. Night-chan. What? Naruto nodded once. What? That was enough. She launched at Anko. The Kunoichi froze as a small child clung to her. Well, what? Subam chuckled softly, you're doomed. What? Minka snorted. Even Naruto let out the faintest breath of amusement. A distraction. A needed one. But it didn't last. I need to report. Naruto said. A shadow clone formed instantly. Naruto was gently handed over. Stay with him. What? Then, Naruto turned. You too. He glanced at Anko. This concerns you. What? Before questions could form, they vanished. What? Hokage office. Naruto stood straight. No hesitation, no delay. Mission complete. What? Minato's eyes locked onto him. Target secured. What? Intelligence recovered. What? The pause. Then, ahead. Orochimaru S. What? Placed on the desk. 5. Anko stepped back instinctively. Minato didn't move. Continue. What? Naruto's voice didn't change. The enemy located my familiar. What? The pause. She was killed. What? Silent. I retaliated. What? Minato's grip tightened. How far? What? Naruto met his eyes. Complete eradication. What? The words fell. Heavy final. No survivors. What? Even Anko stopped breathing. Minato leaned back slowly. An entire hidden village. What? Naruto didn't flinch. They were aligned with him. What? Not an excuse. A statement. Minato closed his eyes briefly. This wasn't just power anymore. This was something else. And the research. What? Naruto unsealed scrolls. Precise controlled. What? Forbidden techniques. Experiments. Curse-sealed data. What? Anko stepped forward instantly. Can it be removed? What? Naruto glanced at her. I'll find out. What? Minato exhaled slowly. You have permission. What? Naruto bowed. Formal, distant. Then, I have one more duty. What? Minato's eyes narrowed slightly. Akun's mother. What? Silence again. Then, Naruto vanished. What? Forest of death. The air changed. Every creature watched. Every sound stopped. Naruto dropped to his knees. I failed. What? The words were simple but heavy. Before him, a massive owl watched. Ancient still. Zig. I couldn't protect her. Silence stretched. Long, unforgiving. Then, rise. Naruto obeyed but didn't lift his eyes. She chose you. The pause. Then you carry her now. Naruto's chest tightened. I won't punish you. His eyes widened slightly. But you will remember. Naruto nodded. Slowly, carefully, he summoned it. An earring. Silver marked heavy. He placed it on. A symbol, not of loss, but of burden. The owl watched, then nodded once. Don't waste what she gave you. Naruto closed his eyes. I won't. But deep inside, that voice stirred again. You are becoming something greater. And this time, Naruto didn't reject it. He only whispered. At what cost? The forest held its breath. Even the wind stilled, as Naruto's voice cut through the silence. I swear. His hand tightened against his chest, on my Kekoi Jenka. A pause, heavy, final. I will never forget her. The vow wasn't loud, it didn't need to be. Because every creature there felt it. The clearing answered, low howls, soft rustling, a quiet acknowledgement. Minka lowered her head, Sublime coiled tighter for a moment. Then Naruto spoke again, softer this time. Go. They looked at him, hesitation, concern. Unite to be with them. A small smile, forced but real enough. I'll be fine. They didn't believe him, but they nodded anyway. 3 days. Minka whispered. 3 days. Naruto confirmed. And then, they were gone, leaving him alone. The silence returned, but this time, it was heavier. Naruto turned, walked. Not toward Konoha, not yet. Just away. He didn't want voices, didn't want eyes, didn't want anything. Until, water. A lake still clear. Zig. Naruto stopped. Good enough. His clothes dissolved into tendrils, vanished. He stepped forward and let himself sink. Cold, sharp, real. The water wrapped around him, pulled him down. Silent. No voices, no pain. Just stillness. You seek escape. Naruto's eyes opened underwater. I seek quiet. But even here, it followed. You are changing. Naruto clenched his fists. I know. And that was the problem. Inside his mind, Kurama watched. Not amused, not relaxed. Thinking, this isn't normal growth. He muttered. The black light had evolved, adapted, and something else had been added. Those eyes. Not just Rinnegan. Something layered beneath, something older. Orochimaru wasn't the only one searching. Kurama leaned back slowly. What did you absorb, Naruto? For once, even the fox didn't have answers. The water rippled. Naruto rose slowly, breathing heavy, not from exhaustion, from memory, because something else had surfaced. Not the present, the past, pain, a room, blood. Stay down. Naruto looked up, young, broken. A missing arm still regenerating. I can still fight. No. His sensei's voice, firm, unyielding. You'll stay. Naruto clenched his teeth. Don't leave me behind. Silent. Then footsteps leaving. What would Itachi do? Time passed. Then, movement. A body falling. Asuzayu. He caught her. Blood burns. They found us. Who? Orochimaru. Everything stopped. Help them. And then, nothing. Her body went still. Naruto screamed. Zeg. That scream never left him. Not then. Not now. Back in the present, Naruto stood at the edge of the lake. Dripping, silent. This isn't new. He whispered. I've always been like this. Loss, failure. Again and again. And each time, I become stronger. Naruto's eyes darkened. At the cost of someone else. Silent. Then, movement. Leaves shifted. Present. Minka Subime. They had returned early. Naruto. He didn't turn. They ran into him before. The words came out low. Orochimaru. Minka froze. Subime tightened. Your old team. Naruto nodded. I wasn't there. That was the truth. The one that mattered. I won't be late again. The air shifted. Not rage. Not grief. Something colder. Resolved. This time. Naruto's Rinnegan pulsed faintly. I won't fail. But deep inside, the entity stirred. Not warning. Not guiding. Watching. Because this time, Naruto wasn't being pushed. He was choosing. And that was far more dangerous. The forest blurred beneath him. Branches snapped, wind screamed. Naruto didn't slow down. He couldn't. They're fading. Subime's voice trembled inside his mind. How will you find them? Naruto's eyes narrowed, cold, focused. I already have. His chakra pulsed outward. Locking, tracking, hunting. Misaka-sensei Maebuki. Their signatures flickered, weak, breaking. We're running out of time. Hold on, he whispered, then vanished. The clearing came into view. Too quiet, too still, and the moment Naruto landed, everything inside him froze. Bodies, not moving, not breathing, gone. 5, no. His voice cracked. Misaka still alive, barely. 3 kunai lung punctured, breath ragged. Nisado, gone, split clean. Maebuki, burned, broken, dying. Naruto didn't think he moved. 2 shadow clones, instant. One gathered Asato's remains, sealed. The other rushed to Misaka. Naruto dropped beside her, hands shaking. Why? His voice trembled. You should have run. Misaka's lips moved, slow, painful. Trap. He knew. Ambush. Naruto's fist slammed into the ground. Damn it. The earth cracked beneath him. Save them. Her final words. Then, silent, Naruto froze. Then sealed her, hands steady, eyes empty. 3. His thoughts fractured. Suzu Asato Misaka. Maebuki. Hope. He turned. And it died. The clone stood still, silent. Scrolls in hand. No words needed. The memories flooded back. Maebuki's smile broken, soft, final. At least. You'll live. Please. Let me go. Naruto's breath hitched. Don't say that. I can still. Save the others. Her voice faded, but her smile stayed. Then, nothing. Naruto didn't scream. He couldn't. Something inside him snapped. 5. The scroll sealed. One more life gone. Time passed. Or maybe it didn't. Naruto didn't know. Only that. He stood again. Alone. The Hyuga compound. Silence, respect, grief. Naruto knelt, head lowered. I failed. His voice was hollow. I couldn't protect her. Hisashi took the scroll, hands trembling. Pain hidden behind discipline. Stand up. Naruto didn't move. You've suffered enough. A pause. Lave. Not anger, not blame. Just grief. Naruto stood and walked away. The memory shattered. Naruto blinked. Back in the present. This again. He whispered. The weight never left. It just buried itself deeper. Hours later. Scrolls, ink, seals. Naruto's mind worked, relentless. Decoding, breaking, rebuilding. Orochimaru's curse seal. Layer by layer. Trap within trap. Got you. A faint smirk. 3 scrolls filled. Complete. This will work. But even as he leaned back, his hands trembled. Not from exhaustion. From memory. Focus. He created a clone. Coffee. Another. Minato. Another. Anko. The plan moved. Elsewhere. Minato stared at the mountain of paperwork, dead inside. This never ends. Another stack dropped. He sighed. You could just burn it. A voice replied casually. Yeah. Minato froze. Slowly looked up. Naruto. Leaning against the wall. Calm. Too calm. What are you doing here? I need the sealing room. Simple, direct. I've cracked Orochimaru's curse seal. Silent. Minato blinked. You what? I finished it. How long did it take? 48 hours. No breaks. Minato stared. Not proud. Not amazed. Worried. Are you all right? I'm fine. Lying. Obvious. But I'll need your permission. A pause. Then, a smile. Let's make a deal. Minato narrowed his eyes. What kind of deal? Naruto's smirk deepened. You give me the sealing room. And I solve your paperwork problem. Silent. Then, how? Minato nearly fell out of his chair. Naruto chuckled. It's simple. A pause. So, Minato didn't even hesitate. Deal. Naruto turned, walking toward the door. But for a brief moment, his expression dropped. Empty. Because no matter how many seals he solved, no matter how strong he became, there were things he could never fix. And deep inside, the entity stirred again. Not satisfied. Not yet. Naruto's laugh echoed, dry, hollow, and almost unrecognizable. What am I? The question lingered in the air for a fraction of a second. Then, poof, gone. Minato stared at the fading smoke where his son had just been. Shadow clone. A long pause. I'm an idiot. He dragged a hand down his face and sighed before forming a seal. 3 clones appeared beside him. You handle the paperwork. The original turned away immediately. I'm taking a break. The clones groaned in perfect synchronization. This is abuse. Elsewhere. A memory transferred. Naruto's clone blinked once. Done. A small smirk crossed his lips. Time to pick up Anko-chan. He leapt. Knock. Silent. Then, crash. Glass shattered, something fell, a curse followed. Naruto snickered. The door opened. Anko stood there, hair messy, eyes half-lidded. Hey Naru-chan. You're drunk again. Flat certain. They called me a bitch. She groaned. And you know I don't tolerate idiots sober. Naruto sighed. I finished it. That got her attention. The counter seal. Yeah. He turned. Get your coat. More crashing, more cursing. Then she returned, barely functional, still smiling. Let's go. She took one step, then grabbed her head. Worth it. Naruto shook his head. You're going to need this. He lifted a bottle. Sake for the pain. Her grin widened. Now I'm motivated. They moved in silence, through shadows, into the compound, into his room. Another Naruto sat there, coffee in hand. The clone dissolved instantly. Memory transfer. Naruto exhaled. You ready? I've been ready for years. No hesitation. No fear. The ceiling room awaited. 5. Dim, circular, silent. Torches flickered. Ancient symbols carved into the floor. You'll need to strip. Naruto said it plainly. I have to apply the seal across your entire body. Anko smirked. Oh, you're moving fast. Naruto didn't even react. I've already seen you naked. Pause. The hot springs. You crashed into the men's side. She blinked. Right. But still counts as my win. He stripped. Sat at the center. Naruto unrolled the scrolls. Ink symbols. Complexity beyond comprehension. Drink. She did. Then, Naruto's hands moved. Seals precise, perfect. The first array ignited. Blue alive. It slithered across her skin. Wrappings binding. Anko hissed. Pains sharp burning. Then another. And another. Each seal crawled across her body. Interlocking, layering, suppressing. Her breath hitched. Pain blurred into something else. Focus. Naruto's voice cut through it. She clenched her teeth. I am. More seals. More pain. Until the final array emerged. It hesitated, almost resisting. Then obeyed. This one will hurt. Naruto's voice softened. A lot. Anko laughed weakly. I've lived through worse. A lie. A terrible one. Naruto leaned forward. Pressed a kiss to her cheek. You shouldn't have to. Then, his hands formed a final sequence. Faster, sharper. Unforgiving. Fuinjutsu. His palm struck the seal. Evil soul breaking. Everything ignited. Red, violent. Zig. Anko screamed. The curse mark fought back. Twisted. Clawed. But Naruto's seals tore into it. Ripped it apart. Piece by piece. Until nothing remained. Silent. Anko collapsed. Naruto caught her. Held her. You did good. His voice was quiet. Tired. Haunted. Really good. He dressed her. Carried her. Placed her gently on the bed. Then fell beside her. 60 hours. No sleep. No rest. No peace. Darkness claimed him instantly. And then, he was back there. The branch. The blood. Akyun. Dying. I'm sorry. His voice broke again. But, Naruto. He froze. Turned. The world dissolved. White endless. And she stood there. For, alive, different, beautiful. You forgot me already. A teasing tone. But soft. Naruto's breath caught. Akyun. She smiled. Stepped closer. Wrapped her arms around him. I told you. I'd stay. His hands trembled. Then held her tight, desperate. You're real. I am. She rested her head against him. I'm part of you now. Not like Kurama. Not sealed. Integrated. Then you can come back. Hope dangerous, fragile. Akyun pulled back. Smiled gently. If you learn how. Naruto frowned. What do you mean? You have to rebuild me. With your power. With your Kekai Genka. He touched his chest. You already started changing, Naruto. This is just the next step. The pause. Then Naruto tilted his head slightly. And the human form. A faint smirk. Don't tell me this is your true form. Akyun laughed softly. A sound he thought he'd lost forever. You absorbed me. Of course I'd adapt. She leaned closer, eyes glowing faintly. And Naruto. Her voice dropped. You're not the only one changing. I'm part of you now, Naruto. Her voice was soft, but the meaning behind it was anything but. That means she tilted her head slightly, a playful glint in her crimson eyes. Some things about me changed too. Naruto frowned, like what? Akyun didn't answer. She stepped back, spun once, and struck a pose. A very deliberate one. Naruto froze. Then, drip, blood slid from his nose. Akyun-chan. His voice cracked. Please stop. She smiled, victorious, satisfied. Good. At least I can still affect him. Naruto wiped his nose, groaning softly. I will find a way. His tone shifted, serious, unshakable. I'll give you a body again. No hesitation, no doubt. Avowed. Akyun blinked, then smiled soft, warm. Thank you, Naruto. She stepped forward and embraced him again. The world dissolved. Naruto's eyes opened. Morning light filtered through the window. Warm, quiet. For once, peaceful. He didn't move, because something was pressed against him. Soft, small. He looked down. Naruto, curled between him and Anko. Fast asleep. A tiny thief of warmth. Naruto chuckled quietly. Of course. He carefully slipped out of bed, moving like a shadow, not waking either of them. The shower. Hot water cascaded down his body. And instantly, the tendrils reacted. Alive, moving, dancing beneath his skin. The heat stirred them, awakened them. For a moment, he closed his eyes, and everything faded. The pain, the screams, the loss, gone. Just water, just silence. Just peace. I needed this. Minutes later, he stepped into the kitchen. Empty, quiet, still asleep. The pause. Good. He rolled his shoulders. Guess I'll cook. Eggs. Eggs, rice, vegetables. Simple, controlled, unlike everything else in his life. Knife moved precise. Onions, paprika, lake. Sizzle. The pan responded. Naruto's movements were fluid, effortless. But his mind was elsewhere. I need to slow down. I've been pushing too far. The pause. Maybe just for a bit. I should stay with them. Another pause. Ryuyuzatsu. He froze. Damn it. A quiet facepalm. I forgot. The rice hit the pan. Louder sizzle. Focus returned. Behind him, they gathered, silently, watching. Minato, Kushina, Naruto, Anko. No one spoke. Just watched. He cooks. Anko whispered. Kushina smiled softly. He always could. Minato chuckled quietly. We just never noticed. Naruto clung to Anko. Already attached. Already claiming. Anko looked overwhelmed. This is dangerous, she muttered. Naruto didn't turn. I can hear you. I know, she grinned. Breakfast was served. Plates filled. Everyone seated. Itadakimasu. They ate. Silent. Comfortable. Almost normal. Until Naruto spoke. One-chan. Anko blinked. Yes. Naruto tilted her head. Innocent deadly. Your chest is really comfortable. Silent. Then chaos. Minato choked. Kushina coughed violently. Anko froze. Completely. Naruto laughed. Hard. Na-chan. He wiped a tear. Not during breakfast. She nodded seriously. And went back to eating. Like nothing happened. After a few minutes, Minato cleared his throat. Naruto. The tone shifted. Serious. I need you at the office. Naruto glanced up. Why? I read your medical report. The pause. Naruto flinched. Barely noticeable. But there. I see. His voice dropped slightly. Understanding cold. I'm planning to deal with the civilian council. Minato's eyes hardened. Permanently. Naruto leaned back. A slow smile forming. Dangerous. Now that sounds interesting. He turned to Anko. Feel like breaking a few people. She grinned. Always. Minato took a step back instinctively. These two are terrifying. Naruto stood, stretching slightly. We should call the others too. Minato blinked. Others. Naruto's smile widened. Tsunade. Hana. The pause. They'll enjoy this. And somewhere deep inside, something stirred. Not just watching anymore. Not just growing. Waiting. For the moment, Naruto stopped holding back. It's primarily a shape-shifting ability, Ibiki Morino explained evenly, his sharp eyes never leaving the scene below. From what we understand, he can assume almost any form, along with several additional traits we've yet to fully grasp. Naruto's shoulders twitched just slightly, enough. You don't have to tell him everything, Ibiki-san. His voice was calm, too calm. He didn't even look up. Below, the tendrils continued. They moved like living shadows, slithering, burrowing. Deeper. Mizuki's screams tore through the chamber. They weren't human anymore. Zig. Now Mizuki. Naruto finally spoke again. Soft, measured. I'd like you to answer a few questions. Fuck you. Even broken. He resisted. Naruto smiled. A slow, disturbing smile. Oh, and here I thought we could be friends. His fingers flexed. The tendrils pulled. Just slightly. Mizuki screamed louder, worse. Your choice. Naruto's voice dropped instantly. Cold, absolute. Pain or answers? Above, the observers froze. Anko Mitarashi's breath hitched. But not from fear. Minato Namikaze felt something else entirely. Something he didn't understand. Ayabiki, he already knew. What came next? Died demon scum. Mizuki spat weakly. Naruto sighed. Disappointed. Pity. The tendrils withdrew. Not gently. Violently. Tearing through flesh, muscle, organs. The sound alone was enough to make even seasoned shinobi flinch. Not a drop of blood escaped. Absorbed, consumed. Naruto tilted his head slightly, eyes distant. So, he began, voice detached. You manipulated a weak student into attacking the Hokage's daughter. Worked under Orochimaru. And planned to steal the forbidden scroll. Silent. Shock. Then, rage. Minato moved. Fast. Kunai drawn. New pace of. A hand stopped him. Naruto's. Firm, unyielding. Hokage-sama. The tone. You're interrupting my interrogation. The pause. I understand your anger. But I will not allow anyone. His eyes locked onto his father's. To violate T and I protocol. Minato stepped back. Instinct, not logic. Naruto turned back. Mizuki saw an opening. Desperation twisted into arrogance. HOKGSMA, you can't let this demon. Minato's killing intent exploded. Don't you dare. He's right. Naruto cut in. Flat, emotionless. Everything stopped. Minato froze. Mizuki grinned. See, explain. Minato demanded. Naruto didn't hesitate. My Keke Genkai allows transformation. The pause, but to expand it. His voice lowered. I need biomass. Minato frowned. What kind? Naruto looked at him directly. Humans. Then powerful animals. Silent. The weight of those words settled heavily. Consume. Naruto exhaled slowly. It's easier to show. He turned. Mizuki trembled. For the first time. True fear. Permission. Minato stared. Then nodded. Granted. It happened instantly. A blur. Claws. Impact. Mizuki's body lifted. And then. Gone. Zig. Torn apart. Consumed. Erased. Minato staggered. His stomach twisted. This wasn't battle. This was something else. Something beyond. Then, a voice, as you can see. Minato looked up. And froze. Mizuki stood there. Whole unharmed. What? Naruto no. Mizuki spoke calmly. I can replicate those I consume. Memories included. Then, the body shifted. Tendrils movement. And Naruto stood there again. Like nothing had happened. Minato stared. This is... He couldn't finish. Naruto didn't help him. I gained this power the day you cast me out. Silent, heavy, suffocating. After I left, Naruto continued. I ran. Until I collapsed. And that's when. His eyes darkened slightly. Kurama spoke to me for the first time. The room fell completely still. Because now, it wasn't just about power. It was about origin. About what Naruto had become. And what had been awakened that day. Minato's breath caught in his throat. You met the Kurama. The question came out sharper than intended, fear laced through every syllable. Naruto didn't flinch. Yes, a simple answer, too simple. In fact, Kurama-sensei gave me both my Kekkei Genka. What? Silent. He trained me, guided me, until I received my first team. Naruto's voice remained steady, but something colder lingered beneath it. And after they died, a pause, a fracture. What? Because I failed them. What? Even Minato felt it, that shift, that weight. He pushed me further. Naruto's eyes darkened faintly. So I would never be powerless again. What? The room felt smaller, tighter. I've mastered every transformation now. A breath, even the one I awakened during the Oto massacre. What? No hesitation, no guilt. Just truth, and the three who trained with me. His voice softened just barely. They weren't just companions. What? We lived together, fought together. What? Became something most Konoha teams never achieve. What? A unit. A bond forged in something far darker than training. Minato swallowed hard. What exactly can you do? What? Naruto raised his hand slowly. And the air shifted. What? 5. What? My body is adaptable. What? His arm twisted. Flesh reshaping into claws, then bulking, expanding, muscle tearing outward with unnatural density. I can become weapons. What? The arm shifted again. Flattening, hardening, a shield. I can enhance strength fivefold. What? Another shift. Grotesque, destructive. Or reshape for pure devastation. What? Then he vanished. Gone. Not chakra, not illusion. Nothing. And I can disappear. His voice echoed from nowhere. Then he reappeared. Calm, unbothered. That ability is why Otagakure fell so easily. What? Ibiki narrowed his eyes, even he hadn't known that. Anko smiled faintly, dangerously. Minato. He just stared. And this power. He struggled to process it. What? It grows by consuming others. What? Naruto shrugged. In simple terms, yes. What? But not everything, never everything. Because even now, he was still hiding things. Minato took a slow breath. Your owl familiar. What? A mistake. The moment the words left his mouth, the air changed. Naruto's eyes darkened. A growl escaped him, low, animalistic. Zeg. What? Anko moved instantly at his side. Ibiki followed, prepared. What happened to Akyun? Naruto's voice dropped into something venomous. It is my fault. What? Each word, heavy, than mine alone. What? His gaze cut into Minato. It is not your concern. The pause, Hokage-sama. What? The title, spoken like poison. Minato stepped back, instinct, not choice. I'm sorry. What? What? The words came quickly, genuinely. I overstepped. What? Silent. Naruto exhaled. The pressure faded. Not gone, but controlled. He turned away. Ibiki-san. What? Back to calm. I'll leave the boy to you. What? A glance. He was manipulated. What? Light punishment. What? Then, colder, sharper. If he can't see through such a pathetic lie. What? He has no future as a shinobi. What? Ibiki nodded. Naruto walked past Minato, Anko beside him. I'll see you at home, Hokage-sama. What? No warmth. Just distance. The door closed. Silence swallowed the room. Minato stared at the floor. I messed that up, didn't I? What? Ibiki sighed. You did. What? but softer now. Don't let it break you. He went to Akyun's family, ready to accept punishment. Minato's eyes widened slightly. He carries everything alone. The pause, and that. Ibiki looked toward the door. Is what will destroy him. Meanwhile, a flash of red. Naruko clung tightly to Naruto's chest, small hands gripping fabric like her world depended on it. Because to her, it did. The clone held her gently, regret flickering behind controlled calm. I scared you, didn't I? She didn't answer, just held tighter. They stepped inside. Kushina rushed forward, fear in her eyes. Then stopped. Naruko crying, Naruto calm. But his eyes, burning. What happened, Naruto-kun? The old name slipped out. He noticed, but didn't react. Some idiot thought attacking her would earn extra credit. His voice sharpened. Mezoki. Kushina's chakra flared. But Naruto shook his head. It's handled. She needs us more. The anger faded. Only for her. They sat together. Time passed. Slowly, the storm calmed. Then, the door opened again. Minato returned, Anko beside him. Where's Naruto? Anko answered quietly. He went to the cemetery. To speak to her. Minato froze. Because he knew. The wind whispered softly through the silent graves. Naruto stood still. Before one name. Uzumaki Namikaze Maibuki. His breath trembled. Not from weakness. From memory. For, hey Mai-chan. A faint smile broke in. I got another one today. One of his spies. His fingers tightened slightly. So maybe. The pause. You can rest easier. Silence answered him. Because it always did. He knew vengeance wouldn't bring her back. I know, but he walked that path anyway. Because it was all he had left. He poured water gently over the stone. A ritual. A promise. See you later. He turned and walked away, not noticing. That with every step. He was leaving more of himself behind.
He faced the truth, and it was darker than anyone imagined. Naruto is not just changing, he's evolving into something beyond human. A power that devours, adapts, and remembers everything it consumes. He wiped out an entire village without hesitation, and yet he still knelt at a grave, mourning the girl he could not save. So, what is he becoming? A protector or the very monster this world fears? And the real question is, when the moment comes, will Naruto choose to save his loved ones or sacrifice his humanity to protect them? Because in the next chapter, that choice won't be his anymore. Tell me, if you had his power, what you become?
That's all for now. If you enjoy, then please like, share and do comments.